Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Marco Podcast.
This show was created to shine a light on the realness of being an entrepreneur. Why organization is not a one-size-fits-all, why you need to give yourself grace, and so much more. The Modco podcast aims to provide motivation, inspiration, or encouragement for you to keep going after your dreams. I'm your host, Angel. Sit back and prepare for valuable tips, resources, laughs, and so much more. If this is your first time here, welcome and thanks for joining. If you've been hanging around for a while, welcome back, and I hope you brought a friend. This episode is brought to you by The Modest Company. The Modest Company helps introverted entrepreneurs get the publicity they deserve without feeling overwhelmed. To get more information, head to themodcosc.com or click the link in the show notes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. So, before we jump into this episode, I want to take a second to give a shout out to Bliss This House home organization with Maria Grove. Maria is a professional organizer who loves tackling homeowners' challenges and teaching them techniques for sustainable solutions. I was a guest on her podcast not once but twice, and I am a listener of the show. If you love organizing or love hearing about getting organized, check out Maria's podcast. She gives great tips on just small things that you can do. And so I think it's an amazing podcast. And I have linked it in the show notes. So check it out. All right, y'all. So let's get into this episode. Today, we are going to talk about being your own worst enemy. And I know that for me, that is so true. I am definitely my own worst enemy. I will talk myself out of something quicker than I will talk myself into it. I am a glass half empty type of chick. I will list all the cons and not even consider the pros of anything. And I can know that it's what I'm supposed to do. Like God can give me a sign as clear as crystal, like holding up the sign saying, Angel, do this. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And I'll still be like, no, I don't really think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I do this because I'm scared to fail or I'm scared that it won't work out how it's supposed to work out. And for the longest time, when things were not going the way that I thought they should, or if they seemed to get off track, I would give myself a pep talk, or I guess I could say an unpep talk, because I would just tell myself that I knew this wasn't going to work out, and I would get angry with myself for wasting so much time. Sorry, y'all, I haven't completely finished my coffee yet. I would get angry at myself for wasting so much time trying to make it work, and then I would just get frustrated and I would stop. And that's the moment that I should have been pushing forward, reevaluating and seeing where I can make changes and what I could tweak on stuff. And I cannot count the number of times that I have sent a text to my husband and been like, I quit, I'm done. And he'll just usually respond back with, like, babe, what happened? What's going on? And he'll try to talk me through it and be like, you got this, you can do this. Like, I know you'll figure it out. Just take the time to think about it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Or I'll text my cousin, I'll be like, I quit. And she'll respond with like an eye roll emoji or a GIF, like with the door slamming or something. And she'll tell me that she'll talk to me when I get my life together and that she is not here for my pity party and doesn't have time for my shenanigans, especially because she knows that an hour later or, later on in the day, depending on the mood that I'm in, I'll be back with like another brilliant idea and asking her, what does she think about this? But my point is, they believe in me, and not just them, but my mom and my dad and other people believe in me as well. But none of that matters if I don't believe in myself and if I keep stopping my progress. And I've really just been trying to remind myself that slow progress is still progress. As they say, slow and steady, it wins the race, but it's a super hard lesson to learn, especially when you think that you should be further along than you are. Okay, so I have a Harry Potter metaphor that I'm going to tie in here. So y'all know that I love me some Harry Potter. Ooh, side note. So they have Harry Potter themed Hershey Kisses. I was at my therapist's office the other day and I went to go grab a Hershey Kiss and it said Ravenclaw, and I was like, "Does this say Ravenclaw?" And I was like, "These are Harry Potter themed." Hello, awesome. So, okay, sorry. Back to the episode here. So, I'm sorry, not sorry to all the muggles out here who may not get my Harry Potter references. Go read the books. I'm pretty sure I've told you this before. Notice I said read the books, not watch the movies. Two completely different things. You need all the information from the books. Sorry. Back to listening in. So one day I realized that my self doubt, my inner critic, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it, is like the Horcruxes that Voldemort created in Harry Potter. And so, in order for the Horcruxes to keep thriving, they must attach to something else, and that something else is being you. And so, the Horcruxes, also self doubt, inner critic, imposter syndrome, the enemy, all of that stuff, they thrive off of your insecurities and they feed it with negative thoughts. So you've got to stop feeding the source. You stop giving it energy and you've got to start ignoring it. And so last year I did an episode that was called Don't Give Up. And it was about fixing a dryer and how that made me look at entrepreneurship differently. And if you haven't listened to that episode, you can go back and check it out. It's episode number 39 and I will link it into the show notes for you as well. But it totally made me look at entrepreneurship different, but it also made me look at life differently as well. And so I won't go into the entire episode, but fixing the dryer was an unknown to me. And there were a lot of blind spots that I just kind of had to feel around for and trust my gut that I was in the right spot. And I wanted to give up on fixing this dryer so bad, but I didn't because I knew that we needed the dryer and I just did not want to spend $600 on getting a new one. And also, I was kind of fixing the dryer out of spite as well because a lot of people think that I'm just this bougie princess who refuses to get her hands dirty or freaks out about dirt and that I don't know my way around a toolbox. And so when I'm underestimated, I love to prove a point. But yeah, life and in entrepreneurship, there are going to be blind spots. There's going to be the unknown. But if you stop every time things get a little hard, you're going to end up spending that $600 or maybe even more. I mean, at the end of the day, we did have to end up getting a new dryer, but I did not feel defeated. I did not feel like I had failed when I fixed the dryer. And the reason for that is because now I know how to fix the dryer. Kind of, sort of like, me and YouTube and Google, we were rocking it out. So, but I know that I can do that now. I know that I can go in there and I can get my hands cut up, not break a nail or not ruin my fresh set, all while being elbow deep in a bunch of metal, feeling around for a screw that I hope is where the video told me that it should be, and the flashlight's not reaching it, so I'm literally just fooling around in there. And so my point with this is to stop stopping you. Stop giving the Horcruxes energy. Stop being scared of the unknown. You never know what lessons you may learn, what skill you may develop, or where it can lead you. Now, I'm not gonna say that if somebody's like, "Ooh, my dryer broke," I'm about to run out and be like, "Ooh, hey, let me fix it." But I'll be like, "Oh, hey, let's YouTube that right quick, and I will be happy to hand you the tools while you fix it because I'm not getting cut up for their dryer, but I can help them out in there." And so if you need to take a break to regroup, like that's fine, but don't talk yourself out of it unless it's dangerous and someone's going to end up getting hurt or even worse, expelled. Sorry guys, another another Harry Potter reference there. Then yes, stop them and stop you because we don't want anybody getting hurt or expelled. But other than that, again, slow progress is still progress. So just keep trying, even if you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be or where you want to be. It's okay. These things take time. And a while ago, I was just thinking about, everything is shiny object syndrome, everything is microwavable. Like we want all of this done in 2 minutes. And I was just thinking about, I enjoy steak. Like I enjoy a nice, good, juicy steak. but I would not want to steak out of the microwave. That just does not sound appeasing to me. And it actually sounds like it's going to make me sick, probably. So if I wouldn't microwave a steak, why would I microwave my business? Everything doesn't have to be instant. Like we live in a world of instant gratification and a world of where, okay, this isn't doing what I wanted to do. Let's move on from it. And we've got to stop that because every time you're starting over, you're erasing all of the progress that you have. And if you keep starting over, you're not going to reach your goals. So stop stopping you. Take the time to regroup. Stop feeding the horcruxes. Stop feeding the imposter syndrome, the inner critic. Just stop feeding it all. Take your time to regroup and get back to you and the progress that you want to make. All right, y'all. So before we go, I have a 5-star review to share. I'm excited. It's been a while since I shared a 5-star review. So this review comes from SK Fins. SK Fins says, I really enjoy this podcast. Angel is a friendly and warm host and shares some really great tips for small business owners. I love that she presents information in a bite sized and actionable way. If you're a small business owner looking for tips to grow your business, I highly recommend you check out the Modco podcast. Thank you, SK Fins, for the review. I greatly appreciate it. And if anyone would like their 5-star review read on the show, you can head over to a podcast and leave a 5-star rating and then type a review in, and I will read it on the show. And I would also like to say thank you to Mom Wife Worship Life for caffeinating the show. And I am going to go and finish caffeinating myself now. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will chat with you again soon. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Modco podcast. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and learned something from it. Be sure to share this episode with a friend, family member, colleague, or anyone you think will enjoy it. Make sure you hit the follow or subscribe button. And if you love the podcast, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcasting app. That helps others to find us and gets us listed in other show recommendations. So you all know that I run on coffee, and so does the show. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by clicking on the link in the show notes. Thank you so much, and chat soon.